If someone asked me the single easiest privacy upgrade for years, my answer was always the same. Just ditch Google Maps, use Apple Maps. But after this week, I'm not sure I can say that so cleanly anymore because Apple Maps is getting ads. Yes, this on screen is a real pop up, and Apple has officially announced in March that ads are coming to Apple Maps. The ads don't seem live yet, but this is warning everybody, and it's going to happen. And they're going to be showing them in the top of search results and suggested places, both labeled ad. Now, I want to be fair to Apple here because I still don't think Apple is Facebook or they're Google. Those companies exclusively exist to sell ads, and that's their entire business model. Apple still to this day fundamentally still makes most of its money selling you a phone or a computer. Now, I'll show you exactly some alternatives. Everything I'm about to show you runs on the same foundation, a map of the entire world built by volunteers owned by no one. It's called OpenStreetMap. So think Wikipedia, but for maps. In fact, even Apple Maps partially uses OpenStreetMaps as well for their own proprietary program. Probably one of the more accessible ones is called Magic Earth. This is something that a lot of people in our community have used for a long time. It's probably, I would say, the closest drop in for a normal person. It's got real turn by turn, it's got live traffic, lane guidance, satellite view as well, which is going to take a second, but there you go. You have satellite view. It's even got CarPlay support, activity recording. It's got elevation, scenic travel mode, cycling mode, truck routing, etc., and even Apple Watch support. So you can search for businesses, click route, and then you can literally just say where you are. You can set labels, features. Let's say you need to, you're over here, and then you'll get your basic routing that you're probably used to. So this is quite a powerful swap for something like Apple or Google Maps. Now, the UI UX I don't think is probably better than what most people are used to. It's also not fully open source. So this is a convenience pick, not really a purist's pick if you're somebody who needs something to be 100% exclusive open source. I think the other downside too is they've leaned a lot heavier into their subscription. And so this is likely going to be something, if you actually want all these nice features, you're going to have to pay for, which if you're curious what it is, and there is a free trial I'm seeing here, but it's $20 a year. And so it's kind of a question of, are you willing to pay for an ad-free experience? And you want to support something a little bit more indie, I suppose. Now, the second option is called Organic Maps. And I actually interviewed one of their developers recently on our podcast, Techlore Talks. This is another very well-known one. It's actually offline first. And so the idea is you download a map, which I've already done. It downloaded San Francisco area for me. And so you can kind of change things around. It's not going to be quite as fancy. And I don't think the UI UX is as powerful as something like Magic Earth, but it's still very powerful. You can go into the settings and there are still some online features that you can start enabling. I should have also mentioned that both of these apps, both Magic Earth and Organic Apps, are available on iOS and Android, so it's cross-platform. And I think really where Organic Maps wins is offline. Like they really chase after that offline experience. In fact, in that interview that I did, he even claims that the offline experience with Organic Maps is actually better than the offline experience with Apple or Google, who typically rely a lot more on the cloud processing side of things. And so if you really want something that's good offline, you can actually download business information offline as well. And it's quite a powerful thing to do. And you can still record location. They have biking instructions, etc. I will say, I think the usability isn't as good. Like, I'm going to do what I think is intuitive, right? So you see I put the hotel, let's say I just went to Mr. Charlie's. So I type in, you're watching me do this in real time. I click Mr. Charlie's, but now it pulls up that business information and it's like route from. So it's an extra step there, and then you click start, and so you'll get directions, you'll get walking directions, you'll get kind of the basics. I definitely think it's more optimized for going from your current location than it is between two businesses. All right, so the overall order of operations of this video was, the most usable to maybe the least. So this is most usable from a power user's perspective, perhaps, but OSM and is open source maps and, which I think actually originally stands for Android, but it's ported to iOS. I don't know. Maybe someone tells me what the and stands for, but this is the most deepest and most customizable. You're going to get things like contour lines. You're going to get a lot of thorough stuff, granular routing, steeper setup. This is the go all the way pick. This is not the starting point. I think this is actually for far more advanced uses. Now, one thing that is important to add is that a lot of times, again, because OSM and because there's more of a community support around this, a lot of times you're actually going to get like better hiking trails that are designed to be offline on things like organic maps and OSM and maps. So these are three different apps, and the one thing in common is that none of them have an advertiser to answer to because none of them are trying to sell you. And that's kind of the whole difference now if Apple's going to continue going down the advertising route. OSM and also has some kind of subscription, kind of like Magic Earth, though it's a lot less in your face, and most people probably don't need it. It's more of a way to support the project. So here's what I'd actually do, right? And we're going to compile all this information. This is not all or nothing. I think you can still keep Apple Maps on your device for when you genuinely need that power. You're in a rush. You're doing something that's quite sensitive. You can't be running on any kind of outdated information. You need to check hours for things, and sometimes that can be a little bit stale when you're using the community stuff. But I think for most people, I think if you're willing to pay for, as close to an Apple Maps experience as you can with something that is a little bit more independent from a big tech company, I think Magic Earth is probably going to be your best bet. But if you want something that's free and especially prioritizes that offline experience, I think Organic Maps is going to be another great option. And then we also have OSM and that I think is more there for power users. I know a lot of people are upset about the Apple Maps advertising thing, but I wanted to make this video to showcase that you have more options than just Apple Maps, even if it's not for every time you route. If you can even download, personally, I think it's really good to have offline maps on your device for any kind of emergencies. And I think you're actually going to find a better offline experience with something like Organic Maps than only Apple Maps. So these are all things to think about. If you like our content, you can support it by becoming a Techlorian. You get access to our private Signal group. You also get access to my private RSS feed to keep up with news throughout the week. And you have other fun things that you're going to be in the outro that's going to play in just a second here. So check that out if you want to support us. Otherwise, I'll see you next time on Techlore. Thank you all to our Techlorians.